High school volleyball presentation is brought to you by Wolverine Power Cooperative and Great Lakes Energy. Your local electric cooperative is looking out for you. And by Munson Healthcare Cadillac Rehab Services.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another exciting season of girls high school volleyball action on 26 Sports and CCTV. My name is Bill Dooley, and tonight the Gaylord Blue Devils make the trip down to battle the Cadillac Vikings in the first Big North contest game for each team. And tonight, for our pregame, we are pleased to have Coach Michelle Bryans. And Michelle, thanks for taking a little time to share with us.
No problem. Thank you for being here.
No problem. First off, just kind of fill us in a little bit. You guys had two tournaments. One was downstate, and then one was here in Cadillac. So maybe give us a quick synopsis of how that went.
Well, you know, we always open the season at Portage Central, which is kind of like welcome to varsity volleyball because it's all Division I teams. You know, we're not classes anymore. We're divisions in volleyball. Yeah. So I think all the teams there were Division I but us and playing well. Unfortunately, we didn't win any matches that day, but we had 3 sets where we lost 24-26 for 2 of the sets and 15-13. Okay. So we're right in there. We had the opportunity to win at least 2 of those. But, you know, it's early in the season. And then we were at our home tournament this past Thursday, and we won our pool. And then we beat Big Rapids, who will actually be in our district this year. And then we, unfortunately, we lost Traverse City Central. They beat us 24-26. So you can see we have a little bit of a trait going where we're having a hard time finishing. So we're working on that.
And down in that tournament down in Battle Creek, what were some of the powerhouse teams you saw down there?
Grand Rapids Christian, Mercy, Livonia Churchill, Marshall, Rockford. We had to play Rockford in our pool. Grosse Pointe, North.
Big Class A
Hemers Bedford. Yeah.
What about, is it Battle Creek, St. Philip? Are they a team that's always, or used to be good?
They used to be. They're coming back around a little bit. They were not there, and they're a D school.
Oh, they're D, okay.
But Mercy and Grand Rapids Christian are super strong, as is Rockford and Bedford. So they were all there, and we had Rockford in our pool, actually. So that was a good learning experience for us.
Right. Now, looking at the team this year, kind of junior heavy. What the returners? First of all, let's go over the returners for this year.
Okay, we have Brooke Kohani, who is a third-year varsity player, middle hitter for us. Then we have Anessa Liptak, who's outside opposite hitter, and opposite is a right side hitter as well as, and they sometimes play outside. We have Macy Brown, who's a sophomore, who is a setter and an outside hitter. Chloe Comstock plays opposite and outside for us. And then Maggie Neese, we took her from the opposite position and moved her to middle this year and moved Anessa to an outside position. Okay. And then Lexi Johnson, who also plays our opposite and outside for us.
Now, opposite again, is that always on the right outside hitter?
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's always the right side hitter. People refer to it as the right side hitter, but the correct name is the opposite hitter.
Okay.
Because they're opposite of the setter.
Okay.
Yep.
Now let's go over some of the new faces that we'll see this year.
Okay. Some more of the juniors. We have McKenna Bryant, who right now is in our libero jersey. She plays all 6 rotations for us right now for both of our middles. Brooke Lorenz is another DS junior who is getting a lot of playing time for as well, playing middle back. We have Abby Lowe, who actually comes to us from Kingsley. She had transferred last year but had to sit out because of the transfer rule. And she is she could be a front row or a back row player. Unfortunately, she got an injury on Thursday and is in the concussion protocol right now and working her way back. Okay. And then we have Renee Brines, who is my daughter, and she's a 9th grader, and she is one of the setters and opposite hitter for us. She's left-handed, so she's a true opposite.
Okay.
So most of the time you're not going to see a lefty be in the middle or be in the outside. Right. They always play on the right side. And then we have Marnie Fox, who could be a setter if we needed one, but she's a DS as well. And then we have Stacy Baydoun, who can play front row and back row for us as well. So
yeah, it's quite a luxury to actually have a lefty on the team because most people, because they're not used to that angles and the way the spin comes off, right?
Right, and it's harder on the blocking.
Yeah.
And the reason why they play on the right side is then the ball doesn't have to cross their body, just like with an outside, the ball doesn't cross their body.
Okay.
So that's why lefty on the right side is good, and lefty at setting position is good. Allie Finch was my last lefty, and Hannah Baker was a lefty before
That's
her.
right.
So.
Yeah, right.
And they're very effective as setters as well, because they
Yeah.
could get up in a 5-1 and hit the ball on two.
Yeah.
And whereas the right side would come up and hit and probably go right into the block because they're going this way.
Yeah.
Whereas the lefty can go around the block. So.
Anything new this year in the rules for volleyball? Any little changes that really we need to know about?
No, everything's still the same.
Okay.
It's funny, at the JV tournament, though, in AA, you can run 2 liberos in a game.
Oh, yeah?
And one of the teams in the JV tournament was doing it, and I looked at Randy, who was the official. I said, you can't run 2 liberos in high school ball, and he does a lot of AAUs, so he felt pretty silly, but
Yeah.
he's like, so now it's a big joke with him because he's a very experienced guy, and
Right.
just he said my brain was still in AAU, and
Yeah.
so that is not a rule in high
That's
school.
not a rule in high school.
And also in AAU, you can be in the net as long as you don't interfere with the play. You can't be in the net at all in high school. So
Okay.
those
All
are
right.
different rules for the different seasons.
And since we're just starting out real quick, a back row hitter, coach, they can spike it, but they have to stay behind the line or not
Behind
be off
the 10-foot line.
behind like they have to when they elevate. Just explain so we know that too.
There can be a back row attack. Sometimes what happens is if Macy digs the ball, Renee will set her a back row attack out of the right side, and so just as long as Macy takes off behind the 10-foot line, she can certainly float in front of the 10-foot line.
Oh,
but
after
has to take off. Foot can't be on the line or anything. Has to be totally behind the 10-foot line.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. All right.
Yep. Your libero too can get up and attack, but they can't be above the net.
Oh no.
So
kidding.
McKenna has some McKenna can jump. She's not very tall.
Right.
But she can get up, but she has to, when she attacks, if she were to really get up, she could get called for back row.
Okay.
If the contact in the ball is above the tape.
Okay.
That's why a lot of liberos, you don't see them unless when they're really big, because sometimes people are 5'7" or so.
Okay.
They don't get up and rip on it because they would get called for a back row attack.
All right. Okay. That's great. We love to hear that
Yeah,
stuff. So
yeah.
Dan and I cannot be confused, but we will be confused.
Yeah, it's okay. It's
Yeah.
a confusing rule.
Well, anyway.
One other thing too
yes.
about that.
Okay. Yep.
If the libero steps in front of the 10-foot line, she
Right.
needs to bump set it.
Okay.
If she does not, the hitter needs to stay on the ground and attack the ball. Otherwise, that is a back row attack as well.
Has that always been like
Yes,
that?
that's always been that
Wow.
way. Yeah.
Okay. So if they bump it up, the attack hitter has to stay
No,
on.
they can jump.
They can jump. Okay.
If let's say McKenna goes in front of the 10-foot line and uses her hands,
Mhm.
whoever the attacker is has to stay on the ground and hit.
Okay.
They can't jump up and attack the ball
Okay.
unless she were to bump set it in front of it. So the liberos work on, like Mary Kate last year, they work on, if they're in front of the 10-foot line, bump setting it, because otherwise our hitters aren't going to remember that probably, and they're going to attack the ball.
And we won't either.
You're right, exactly. The officials will know it, though.
Yes, they will.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good. We got a little lesson in the rules. We got to see who the people will be playing this year. During our game, we're gonna try and get a little shout out to the freshmen and the JV coaches and the players, and just so we can start to learn their names too as they're coming up. So we want to wish you a really successful, happy, fun year, and let everybody know too, if anybody wants a DVD copy of the games, they can go to www.mynews26.com. Once again, Michelle, thank you. Have a great year.
Thank you.
We
Thanks
appreciate
you guys
your
again
time.
for being at our game.
All
I'm
right.
sure all the area conference teams will be happy as well.
Yeah.
They can scout us and watch it.
Very good. Okay. All right, we'll be back in one moment for the start of tonight's game between Gaylord and Cadillac.